She thought the past was buried. He believed the truth would never surface. But what if one secret could destroy everything?
The doorbell shattered the silence of the apartment so suddenly that Alex nearly dropped his mug of cold coffee. He glanced at the clock. Almost midnight. Who could possibly come at this hour? Through the peephole, he saw a woman with gray strands in her unkempt hair, an old coat hanging loosely on her, a plastic grocery bag in her hand. She lifted her gaze, and Alex's heart sank. It was her, his mother. He hadn't seen her in 12 years. He hadn't written, hadn't called, hadn't known where she was, and truthfully, he hadn't wanted to know. All he remembered from childhood were the shouting matches, police reports, the smell of alcohol, and the day she was led away in handcuffs. He had sworn to himself back then that he would never let her back into his life. "Alex?" Her voice was quiet, cracked. "Let me in. Let's talk." But he only stared in silence. Inside, rage was rising. Rage for everything. For his childhood, for the humiliation, for his classmates whispering that his mother was a murderer. Rage for the fact that his father never waited for her return and drank himself to death. Rage for being forced to grow up far too early. "Leave," he finally forced out, "and don't ever come back." The woman lowered her head, nodded faintly, and started down the staircase. Her footsteps echoed like a countdown to the last seconds of his childhood. Alex closed the door, leaned his back against it, and sat in the dark for a long time. His heart was sick, but he kept convincing himself this was right. This was safer. 2 weeks passed. Alex prepared for an interview at a prestigious company in Chicago, the kind of place he had dreamed about since college. This was his chance – stability, a good salary, full benefits. In his mind, he had already saw a new life, without the past, without shame, without ghosts. But everything went wrong from the moment he walked into the HR office. "Have a seat," said the woman behind the desk without looking up from her papers. Alex sat but suddenly realized he couldn't move. He was paralyzed. His eyes fell on a framed photo on the desk, and a chill ran down his spine. In the picture, standing beside the HR manager, was his mother, alive, smiling, dressed neatly in a suit. "So, you're Alex Crowley?" The woman finally lifted her eyes. "Which means I'm your aunt." His heart pounded wildly. He didn't even remember having an aunt. "My sister said you might come, and she asked me not to judge her too harshly."
Alex nearly jumped from the chair. His head rang, his hands shook. His past had caught up to him again. He tried to say something, but his tongue stuck to the roof of his mouth. He swallowed with difficulty. "You're my aunt?" The woman nodded, watching his every move as if weighing him. "Yes, I'm Lydia, your mother's older sister." Alex shot to his feet. "So you knew everything? You knew where she was and stayed silent?" "Sit," Lydia said sharply, and for some reason he obeyed. "We don't need to discuss this right now. You came for an interview, and I intend to conduct it properly." She opened his resume folder, the rustle of paper the only sound in the room. Alex felt like if he didn't run, he would lose control. But at the same time, he had no choice. He needed this job. "You have good recommendations, but tell me honestly, can you work in a team where people support one another?" "Of course," he muttered, though he wasn't sure himself. Lydia closed the folder and leaned back. "I believe you're capable of more than anger and grudges, Alex, but you'll need to figure yourself out." He jumped up and almost ran out of the office. In the hallway, he stopped, panting. His head roared. The walls seemed to close in, the air thickening. Why was she interfering? Why now? That night, he couldn't sleep. His mother's face appeared before him, tired, older, but with the same eyes he hated as a boy, as if she forgave everything, though he was the one who should forgive. The next morning, Alex returned to Lydia. "I want the truth," he said as he entered. His aunt was silent for a long time, then pulled several folders and a photo album from a drawer. "Your mother didn't kill that man. She took the blame to protect your father." The words struck him like a slap. "What?"
He was in that fight. He's the one who struck the man. Your mother confessed instead. She said he wouldn't survive prison, and you deserved a chance at a normal future. Alex clenched his fists. So all these years he had hated her? For saving them? "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" he whispered. "You were a child. You refused to listen. After the trial, you were taken by a guardian, and we had no right to interfere." Alex stood, his legs weak beneath him. "She came to me, just recently. I threw her out." Lydia nodded. "She knew you weren't ready, but she hoped you would listen, at least once." Something inside Alex twisted painfully. Memories flooded back. Hiding under his bed while his father raged, his mother shielding him with her own body. He walked outside, not remembering how he reached the street. One thought echoed in his head. He had to find her. The next day he went to the same address where she had appeared that night. Neighbors told him they had seen her near a grocery store on the edge of Milwaukee. Alex took the bus there, every mile heavier than the last. He feared seeing her again, but feared even more being too late. He spotted her near the store. She sat on a bench, holding the same plastic bag. This time he approached. "Mom?" he said softly. The woman raised her head, tears glimmering in her eyes. "Alex!" He sat beside her. He didn't know where to begin. "Why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me about Dad?" She sighed. "I wanted you to live without that weight, to grow without guilt for him." Alex was silent for a long time. Inside, everything boiled. Yet, at the same time, it felt as if a giant puzzle piece had finally fallen into place. "Come home with me," he said at last. They walked together in silence. She lagged slightly behind, as if afraid to walk beside him. When they entered his apartment, the place felt different, cold, foreign. "Hang up your coat. Want some tea?"
She nodded. Alex put on the kettle, but his hands trembled so much the cups clinked against the table. "It's beautiful here," she murmured, looking around the room. "You've done well." Alex only nodded. Inside, contradictions tore him apart. He wanted to hug her, and at the same time shove her back out the door. "Mom," he began, then stopped. "I hated you for so many years." "I know," she whispered. "I hated myself too." Alex studied her face, tired, lined, but her eyes still held the same gentle light they had when she looked at him as a child. "Why did you come now?" "Because soon I'll have to leave again," she said after a pause. "I found work in another city. There's nothing for me here." Alex felt himself tighten inside. He had just started to let her back in, and now she would vanish again. "You could stay," he snapped. "We could try to live normally." She smiled sadly. "Are you ready for that?" Alex gave no answer. The next day, he was called into the office. Lydia met him with restraint, though her eyes betrayed concern. "We're ready to offer you the position, but I need to know you won't break under stress."
"I won't," Alex replied firmly. But that evening, as he returned home, he noticed a man in a leather jacket waiting by the building, watching him intently. "You Alex Crowley?" the man asked as he approached. "What's it to you?" "A lot," he smirked. "Your mother owes the wrong people. If she doesn't pay, you will." Alex felt the blood pounding in his temples. "Listen," he stepped closer. "She just got out of prison. She has nothing."
"Then she'd better find it," the man sneered. 1 week. He walked off, leaving Alex standing in the courtyard. That evening, Alex told his mother about the visit. "It's because of me," she whispered. "When I got out, I needed somewhere to stay. I rented a room from the wrong people. They offered to help. I took a loan." "How much?" She named the sum. Alex turned pale. Even his future salary wouldn't cover it. "Why didn't you tell me before?" "I didn't want you to hate me again." Alex clenched his fists. More secrets, more past. The next day at the office, he couldn't concentrate. Thoughts of his mother and those men gnawed at him. He realized if he didn't resolve this, he might lose her forever, or worse. That evening, he went to see Lydia. "Did you know Mom has debt problems?" Her aunt frowned. "No, but I know who she might have borrowed from. Dangerous people. Don't get involved." "What do you expect me to do?" Alex burst out. "Sit and wait until she's locked up again? Or worse?" Lydia was silent. Then she said, "There's someone who could help, but the price will be high." Alex agreed, without even asking what the price was. The next day, Alex met the man Lydia had mentioned, a thin, sharp-eyed figure with an icy stare. "You're Crowley's son. I can fix your problem, but in return, you'll do something for me." "What?" "You'll get a job at the company where your aunt works and steal documents from her department." Alex froze. "That's illegal." "It's your choice," the man shrugged. "Either pay up or say goodbye to your mother."
That night, Alex returned home late. His mother was already asleep, but he sat in the kitchen for hours, staring into the dark. The man's words replayed in his head. Take the job, steal the papers. The next morning, Lydia called him. "Alex, the decision is positive. You can start next week." "Thank you," he said, though his voice sounded hollow. On his first day in the office, everything felt surreal. A new badge, a clean desk, friendly smiles. Yet inside, he felt like a traitor. That evening, he met his mother. "Mom, I got the job, but there's a problem." He told her about the man's visit and the conditions. She went pale. "Alex, don't do this." "And what am I supposed to do? Wait until they come here?" She grabbed his hand. "I'll handle it." But Alex could see her trembling. The next day, he still went to the archive. The documents the man wanted were locked in a cabinet. He had access. He held the folder in his hands and froze. "If I hand this over, I betray Lydia. I betray everything I've started to build." He hid the folder under his jacket and was about to leave when Lydia entered. "Alex?" Her gaze fell on the folder. "What are you doing?" He stood frozen, unable to answer. "These are classified materials." Her voice turned icy. "Do you realize this is a criminal offense?" "Lydia," he began, but the words stuck. "Why?" So he told her everything about the man's visit, the threats, his mother's debt. Lydia listened silently, shadows passing through her eyes. "You're a fool, Alex. Do you think if you give them these papers, they'll leave you alone? No, they'll demand more."
Alex lowered his head. "What do I do?" "First, return that folder. Then we go see them together." That evening, they drove to the neighborhood where the collectors waited. The man in the leather jacket came forward. "Well, did you bring it?" "No," Alex said firmly, "and I never will." The man smirked. "Brave, but stupid." He stepped closer, and 2 others emerged from the shadows. Alex tensed, every muscle ready. "We'll pay!"
Lydia said. "But not now. You'll get the money in a week, through a bank." "We don't deal with banks," the man sneered. "We want cash today." Alex stepped forward. "Touch her, and you'll regret it." The man laughed, but his laughter died when Lydia raised her phone and pressed a button. "I recorded our conversation. If anything happens to my sister or nephew, this goes straight to the police." The man's smile faded. "You're playing with fire." "No," Lydia replied. "You are." They left, leaving the three figures in the dark. That night, Alex felt, for the first time, that he wasn't alone. But the next day, the phone rang. "Alex," said an unfamiliar voice, "your mother is with us. If you want to see her again, do what we asked." Alex's heart plummeted. "Where are you?" "Midnight tonight. You know the place." The line went dead. His world crumbled.
There were only hours until midnight. Alex couldn't sit still. He paced the room, trying to think. Call the police? But if they found out, his mother might not survive. Go alone? He'd be walking into a trap. He dialed Lydia. "They've taken her," he said hoarsely. "They told me to bring the documents." "Don't you dare!" Lydia's voice was sharp. "Where's the meeting?" "Same place as yesterday." "I'm coming. We'll face this together." Alex hung up and for the first time in years felt someone standing beside him. At midnight they arrived. The empty lot was lit only by a single flickering street lamp. The man in the leather jacket stood with his arms crossed, two others beside him. His mother sat tied to a chair, her hands bound. "Did you bring it?" the man asked. "No," Alex said firmly. "I won't steal for you." "Pity." He gestured and one of his men moved toward her. "Stop!" Alex shouted. "I'm here! Let her go!" At that moment, two policemen in body armor emerged from the shadows. "Freeze!" A loud voice cut through the night. "On the ground!" The man staggered back, but too late. He was already being pinned down. Alex turned to Lydia. "That was you?" "He's so big." "Yes," she nodded. "I handed over the recording this morning. They've been watching them all day." Relief crashed over Alex like a wave. His mother trembled as they untied her. "Alex," she whispered, "I'm sorry." He hugged her tightly. "It's over, Mom. No one will hurt us again." When it was all over, the three of them sat silently in the back of the police car. Lydia finally spoke. "You made the right choice." Alex nodded. "I'm tired of being afraid. Tired of running." At home later, they sat with mugs of tea. His mother looked at him long and hard. "You've grown strong," she said softly. "I'm proud of you." For the first time in many years, Alex smiled sincerely. "Maybe we can try living differently." She nodded. "We'll try." A week passed. Alex returned to work, and Lydia met him at the elevator. "Ready for the next step?" "Ready," he said. At that moment, he realized the past was still with him, but it no longer controlled him. He had made his choice, and for the first time in years, he felt alive. That evening, as he came home, he paused briefly at his apartment door. Once he hadn't let his mother cross that threshold. Now he opened it, knowing he had entered not only her, but also a chance for a new life.